We're back, West Michigan, and I'm here now with Michael Johnson, and you are the head of public protection.
Correct.
And you said that you have been doing this for about 15 years, is that
Yes,
right?
15
And
years.
you had touched lightly on the fact that that this was very dear to you because of your own personal story.
Correct.
So am I right that you had some trouble with substance abuse at some point?
Exactly.
Okay. And how old were you, if you don't mind my asking, when you got help, or at what point in your life did you get help?
Well, I had several opportunities to attend several treatment centers, but the last treatment center I attended was back in 1992, and that particular center was the one that actually was able to get through, and I was able to digest the information to the point to where I was able to turn it in and formulate it into my being to give me an opportunity to grow and to find out what it is that I needed to do for myself for the rest of my life to stay clean and sober.
Is that actually what inspired you to start your own?
Correct. I've been in several treatment centers here in Muskegon County, and Muskegon County has pretty good treatment centers, but I had an idea of what a different approach that I wanted to present to Muskegon County in this particular treatment center. And that approach is getting up close and personal with a little bit of a entrepreneurial touch to the treatment process to give the individual an opportunity to be more motivated while he's dealing with the things that he knows best or what he's trying to create while he's dealing with a substance abuse problem at the same time.
Can you give me an example?
A lot of guys like to rap.
Okay.
At this particular point in time today, they have a lot of opportunities to record, get their music out there, and things of that nature. So say one may have a substance abuse problem. So in the course of dealing with his substance abuse problem, we'll also be dealing with the problem. It's not a problem, but what he desires to do in life. And if he desires to get a record deal or things out there to present himself correctly, we'll be dealing with that at the same time we're dealing with his addiction. So therefore, he'll be more motivated to address his addiction at the same time he's pursuing something that he loves.
Okay.
So in the addiction field, most of it is the motivational factor. And you got to have a motivational factor for anybody who's recovering from any type of chemical or just life itself. And that's one of the motivating factors right there.
That's excellent. What an approach. That's really good. Now, explain to me a little bit about, and we're going to go into this much, at greater length later, but just give me kind of an overview as to how a person becomes addicted. What are the stumbling blocks, and what keeps them from being able to break through? Why is it that so many repeat treatment center after treatment center, and sometimes they never make it, and others all of a sudden it's just something happens and that's it? And my husband was he had passed on, but he was an alcoholic, and he used to go to AA, and he used to pick up a pint on the way home, and then finally one day he just got sick of it, and he got a real close relationship with Christ and just quit on it, and just said, you won't quit until you're ready to quit, and you can go all you want, but until you're ready, it's not going to happen. What is your take? What keeps people addicted? What helps them to become not addicted anymore, to get past that? What?
You said the correct phrase. Some people are already at a particular point in time in their lives. Addiction deals with particular point or stages in people's lives, and if a person is ready at that particular point in time and they're able to digest the information that a treatment center may be offering or the programming, then that programming and that knowledge can marinate in their minds, and it can transfer down into their beings, into a gut level, to the point to where they have a conscious shift in their mind, to the point to where they're able to grasp exactly where they are today and what's hindering them. And a lot of times you can go to church and you can have that sporadic recovery process where Christ does come into a person, touches his heart, and at that particular point in time that person was ready to receive. So there's several avenues that you go down in the treatment process that a person can receive the recovery that he's tending to be looking for.
When we had a conversation when I first met you, actually, you were telling me about, you'd mentioned homelessness, and that you addressed that issue as well. Is the homelessness, is it the alcoholism that, or the addiction that causes the homelessness, or vice versa, or is it a vicious circle?
That's a beautiful question. It's a vicious circle, and it goes both ways.
Okay.
The homeless causes addiction, addiction causes homeless. Poverty within itself causes homelessness. Core issues, family dysfunction, things of those nature that individual was born and raised in, that have arrested their development, as I call it. Say a person was molested as a child in his family, so therefore they have a certain degree of blockage in their development. In order for a therapist or a counselor or anybody to reach that level of blockage that the individual harbors, we have to have a set of models and principles to deal with in order to reach that person at that point and go inside. That's what I really do. Go inside and meet the person where they are and have a tendency to talk on the level to where they're, I say, frozen again, and go inside there and help them find their way out, because I've been there and I have a good understanding of the process of being frozen in your addiction and how it allows you to stay and manifest within the addiction, and to the point to where you can go to a treatment center now and understand the treatment process and how to bring yourself through those doors and allow the process to manifest itself in you and to help you change. See, that's the factor right there.
That's excellent. And to maintain that change has got to be a struggle, or a learned behavior, maybe, to keep, once you've made the change, to stay on that path without reverting. How does a person, and I know we'll have to talk, at great detail about this, but just an idea, how do you help a person do that? Now, once they've, decided, I want to give up drugs, or I'm going to give up booze, and they really feel good about it, and say the first couple months are fine, but then when life struggles come up, how do they get themselves to be able to stay in that mindset?
What it really is a contingency plan, a recovery plan. Life in itself, to where I understand it, is a recovery process. It just doesn't have to do with chemicals. It has to do with life in general. So therefore, when you're in a recovery process, you're just not addressing the addiction, you're addressing the life issues that has this individual held hostage. And once we can get a handle on the life issue, that holds this individual hostage, therefore we can deal with that issue along the lines on a continuance anytime things come up, to the point to where we can go back and deal with them and find out what's triggering this particular individual at this particular time to make them want to use again or start the relapse process over again, because the relapse process starts in your mind. Most people think it starts when you actually pick up the drug, but it doesn't. It starts in your mind way before you pick up the drug. If
somebody's watching this and they're really interested, they think, they need help, they want to get this addiction to stop, they want to quit the repetitive process of just relapsing and relapsing, and they want to reach out, just have them call here, obviously, ask for you, but give me just like a word, like a final thought, if you would, that we can pass on to viewers, that basically, there's got to be so much depression with this, because I know there was with my husband.
Exactly.
It felt like, he felt like he was just in a cave, and just kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, it's got to be horrendous to come through this and to actually make that decision, and also the pride factor is there, admitting that I'm an alcoholic, or that I'm addicted. That's hard to do. I mean, he went through so much denial, and to break through that, if somebody is close to that. Or say somebody's watching this and they have a loved one who they want to get into treatment. What kind of advice could you give to bringing someone forward to talk to you?
Well, most people always tell me, to say, You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I used to get kind of like upset with that type of terminology.
Okay.
But you probably cannot make him drink. But if you bring him close enough to that water, you can make him thirsty. That's all I intend to do, is to bring an individual to a particular spot in his life or a particular program. I just want to make him thirsty. And in the process of making him thirsty, I'm going inside his being and figuring out where he is frozen or stuck, or dealing with some type of life issue that's holding him hostage, and help him tap into that issue and help him get some type of personal resolve with that issue. I've been there. I understand addiction. If you want the address to hell, I can give it to you. And I also can give you the address to recovery. And that is really what I'm all about. And I tell a lot of people all the time, the best helping hand that you're ever going to find is at the end of your own wrist. You step out. You go and seek out individuals who you can trust and create a genuine relationship with. And the trust factor is very much needed. And you spoke on recidivism here in Muskegon County. And that is a big issue. And I'd like to speak on one thing real quickly. I received my GED. I was the first individual to receive a GED out of the county jail. And once I received that GED in the county jail, it's like a light came on. I have been trying to accomplish that for years, but I've done it in the county jail. And once I accomplished that, a level of self-esteem was developed inside my being, and it was able to take me to certain levels in my understanding and what it is I had to do in order to maintain my recovery. This is what I offer. I offer an individual a supporting environment to the point to where if you allow me to go into that place where you may be psychologically or emotionally arrested or in prison to some degree, because I have been there, and I can share with you the process and the stages that we will take in order to find yourself and to develop yourself into a productive citizen here in society. It's a step-by-step process.
Excellent. That was so well put. If anybody is watching this and you want to reach out, you need some help, or you know somebody who does, make that call. It's once again 733-9800, right?
9800.
And just ask for Michael Johnson. And do you do a phone consultation first, or do you just bring them right in?
No, you can do a phone consultation. We'll set up an appointment, and they can come on right on in, or they can just come right on in. There's usually somebody here.
That's excellent. That's fabulous. And hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I will be back. We're going to talk with him at greater length on other programs. So watch out for Michael Johnson here on DSE-TV 97. You're watching Building West Michigan, and when we come back, we're going to speak with Mr. Joel Engel.